Guys, it's our final trick or treat video. I cannot believe Booktober is coming to an end. I thought I would do a nice little trick or treat look. Don't look at my spider webs too closely, but like these candy corns kind of popped off. I don't know. I thought it was fun. I figured because this is our big finale, the final trick or treat video of the year, I figured we could do 5 polls. I'll read 5 books in this video. It'll be a little bit more extravagant, a little bit bigger, and more grand. Plus, I still haven't seen everything from everybody, and I have more people that I would like to read from and some recommendations in here. So, I think we're just gonna pull out 5 as we go, or I guess I'm gonna pull them all now because the makeup I have to, utilize this look. But you guys will see them as we go, I think, is how we might do this. I don't know. Let's just pull the first read. Okay. I promise you there's other colors. I think I just had mostly green when I was making these. So, you think I'd be better by now at unwrapping. Okay. Oh no, Mel, this isn't the one I wanted.
Hey Sam, it's Mel from Eleanor Reads. Thank you so much for asking me to do this trick or treat for you. I have both a trick and a treat book for you. My trick book is actually going to be The Twisted Ones by T. Kingfisher. I was looking at your Goodreads and you have given T. Kingfisher similar ratings to what I gave them, and I actually did give this one a 3-star. So I'm curious to see what you are going to think of it as well. The ratings on this one are kind of all over the place, so I'm really curious about your thoughts.
Oh, this is the worst trick of all the tricks. I don't know if I'm gonna like this at all. This is like truly like the trickiest of trick. I don't like The Hollow Places by T. Kingfisher, so I am nervous about The Twisted Ones. I was really hoping for Mel's other pick instead of this one, but it's fine. Here I am doing my investigation, getting the things on hold, seeing what I can do about this reading vlog, and of all the things, there's a 6-week minimum wait for The Twisted Ones. That is so far from the book that I thought I was going to have issues with. I truly thought that one was going to be available now. So, I'm thinking Mel, who inspired this whole, booktuber trick-or-treat to begin with, should be in the finale, at the very least. And Mel gave me a treat pick that I've been dying to read. So, we might switch it in. It's 20 hours long, so it's going to be kind of like a long book to read for this stretch, but I think it might be worth it because I'm really excited for it, and the sequel's out, so I think we're gonna read Anathema. Just because, why not? Sorry, The Twisted One's not available. I scathed through another day of not having to read a bad T. Kingfisher horror. Ha ha ha! The Booktober gods in my favor today, so sorry about it, but it's the finale. I deserve nothing but treats. I deserve all the good treats.
My treat book is Anathema by Carrie Lake. I feel like this is a great October read. I really enjoyed it, and the atmosphere completely on point, so I hope that you love it too. I did see that it was on your TBR.
Good evening. It's late and I'm sleepy, but I made it over 100 pages into Anathema by Carrie Lake, so I figured I would talk to you guys about it before I sleep and finish this tomorrow, hopefully. It's kind of long. I don't know why it needs to be this long. We're 100 pages in and something's just sort of started happening. Okay, now I will give Carrie Lake some grace because she did tell us that the romance is a slow burn and is going to be a lot of yearning. Our couple hasn't even met yet, 125 pages in. I think I need to manage my expectations a little bit because I don't think Carrie Lake, is going to be giving me the smutty romantasy of my dreams at this moment, which is fine. I just need to be prepared for this to be a gothic fantasy foremost. But basically we're following Mavis, and she is a young 19-year-old girl who's getting ready to either go be a part of the church or go and get married to an old man. And those are your 2 options in life. That's the kind of gothic setting we're in. So she will either marry an old man who's 3 times her age, or she will cut off her tongue and go be basically a nun priest for the red god, who she does not believe in. But weird things are kind of happening with crows or ravens, and this prisoner who was speaking in tongues, but she understood what he was saying, and things keep coming back to her with God is death. So that's intriguing. And then we have another perspective, which is Zavander, and he is, I think, an assassin for the king, but he has a younger sister, and it's kind of giving Matt and Vicky Donovan from Vampire Diaries, where Vicky's this troubled teen. his sister seems to be a troubled young woman, ending up in a brothel, turning to a lot of drugs to deal with her trauma. Kind of sad, but he like keeps paying to rescue her basically. But he is doing work with like a seer and he's collecting stones. I don't know, but I can see now 100 pages in the connection, because basically the book begins with her like killing a raven because it was suffering, it broke its wing and like wouldn't survive anyway. So she's like, it's a mercy kill, but it was the first time taking a life. And then she buries the raven and she's like worried about being considered a witch, so she's like, nobody can know. And then where the raven was buried is now a stone, and she got sliced in the woods. The woods are bad. Woods are evil, bad. She got sliced, and so like her arm's infected, and she's got like this feather silver scar thing going on that's kind of weird. And the rock matches her scar, and so she's like, what the fuck? But we know that Xvander is looking for rocks, so I think that's how they'll connect. I don't know where we're gonna go from here. I haven't read the synopsis or anything, so I am going in this quite blind, but I know a lot of people like it. It does have like the gothic vibes. It's like rich in description. We have Mavis and her not biological sister. They were adopted. Well, Mavis was adopted. She was left at the doorstep as a child, and the man took her in, but she's kind of hated by a lot of people. She's got like a bad nickname. People don't seem to like her. Tough times. Happy to live in the modern world. But yeah, that's kind of like everything that's really happened, which again, like isn't a lot, but this is also a almost 700 page book. So I'm going to keep reading a little bit longer, and then I'm going to pass out and read the rest of it probably tomorrow. But I'm so freaking tired, so I'm gonna go sleep. But I wanted to check in because like 100 pages is a significant amount of reading to be done, so cool. Okay, hi. I'm finally pulling myself away from anathema, and I'm liking this. Doesn't need to be this long, maybe not, but I am enjoying my time with it now, especially that I'm like really settled in the world and the characters, and I feel like there's something more going on. I'm in part 2 still, but part 2 starts around like 200 pages, and that's when like there's an incident that like leads us to the plot. So basically Mavis' sister is like banished as a sinner, and they go into the forest. And she's of course like, I don't want my sister to die, I care about her, so I'm gonna follow her into the forest. And so that's what happens. And then Xvander finds her, leaves her sister, but takes her to his castle in another world. Very fantastical. And so that's kind of like what's been going on. Like it's Beauty and the Beast situation. She is his prisoner, she's staying in cells, but finally 400 pages in, we start getting some more moments between them, which I am eating up. I'm living for. I just want the yearning, I just want the tensions, and I'm loving it. But we're also getting some like magical training scenes as she's like trying to figure out this blood line ancestry magic thing going on with her. And of course like Xvander's whole thing is like he wants to cure his curse for him and his brother so that like they're not cursed beings anymore or whatever, but that requires bloodstones, but she's part of that, and so he's like, I can't just kill her. It's like there's a lot of mystery, a lot of questions. I don't know how much is going to get cleared up in like 200 plus pages, but I know that the sequel is out. There's no audiobook for it yet, which is unfortunate for me, but we'll have to wait and see. If I really like am obsessed with the ending, we might just have to say F it and fucking read the book with my eyes. But that's kind of, yeah, there's not like a lot to say about the book. But like once you get settled into the world, there's a lot of fantasy, a lot of words that you're not used to, a lot of world building going on. But once you get settled in it, I think that it gets better. It's very gothic and slow and just tension. I'm really enjoying it though. It's not quite giving me 5-star feels, but it might get higher as we go now that like we're seeing more of the romance. I know that like this is not necessarily like, doesn't have to be a romance to see. I'm just really in the mood for romance. I just want that for my soul right now. So that's what makes me happy. That's what I want to read about. So now that we're like getting little moments between them, God, he's so horny for her. I love it. But he's just like, she's so beautiful. She's like a goddess. I can't believe this. But now that they're like learning magic and like sharing magic and things are getting a little intense, I like it. I like it. okay, the way it ends, yeah, I want to pick up the next book. Great. It's fine. Yeah, no, it's good. I did really enjoy this for what it is. Like I said, I would say probably halfway is when I really got invested, and because it's a longer book, you're still spending so much time. Once it started getting like tender and sweet and be like get to see more of the couple, I genuinely was like, I'm gonna start crying. These moments are so sweet and so nice. So I did actually really enjoy this. I thought that the characters are, you know, well done. There's so many moving parts, but they definitely make sure to keep in mind like their actual motivation. Like her sister is back in the mortal world and she's like, I want to make sure my sister's alive and well, and that's like a big goal of hers, while also like recognizing that there's a lot of changes going on and that this is what needs to happen before that can happen. Like, I like the way that it moves. I like the politics. I like the world building. I'm very fascinated to see the bigger picture. I don't know if this is going to be just a duology or if there's going to be more in the series. It feels ambitious to put in just a duology, but I think it can be done. But also, oh my god, I don't even want to know how long the next book is. But I had a really good time. I'm happy to have spent my day with my cramps in this book, having a solid time. You can tell maybe by this eye that I'm having a little bit of an allergy moment, but I did really enjoy my time with this. It's a solid like 4-star read. I am just so happy to be back with Romantasy. I'm so glad that so many people recommended Romantasy to me. Like, I'm about to have the best reading week of my life. But yeah, I do think I want to continue with the series. I think the next book might be on the books to be recorded, but we don't have a release date for it yet, I think is what I read when I briefly Googled it. So who knows if I'll get to the sequel before the year ends. I'm trying to read a lot of things, and it not having an audiobook does, you know, slow me down. I won't say it's not possible, so I'll have to wait and see. But I really like this. I like the world. I really love that there's like a drinking scene. There's a ball. I freaking love a ball scene. I wish that they were longer. I need them in every book. I love the dress shopping. I love it in a fantasy book. So I just want the balls to be a little bit longer. I want there to be a little bit more dancing, a little bit more touching. I do like the politics of it all and the mingling and how it leads to a lot of action. It's really like a catalyst for so much in a story. But I just sometimes want to revel in the ball a little bit more, okay? Is that so much to ask? Yeah, the ending, what the hell? What the hell? I'm so excited. I have so many questions though. I need to know things. Yeah, I really like this. Thank you so much, Mel. I know you technically recommended A Trick and a Treat, but you know what? I'm gonna say I'm better off reading The Treat than The Trick. I am so happy that The Trick was completely unavailable to me and that I got to read this wonderful gothic romance. It's dark, by the way. Dark. Check trigger warnings. It's not a cute little hee hee ha ha fun time. It is dark and it does do some stuff. There's like horror elements. There's a lot of dark stuff with like SA and stuff. So just like protect your peace. But it is good. It is very good. And I'm very happy to have read it. Okay. Well, that's it for me today. I'm going to, I think, take a nap. And then I'll see you guys when I start whatever my next book will be. On to the next, everybody. Oh, goodness. Okay. Ooh, okay, Kaku. I'm honestly a little bit nervous about this one, Aaliyah. I'm gonna put it out there. This one is horror, but I think it's like scary, like disturbing scary. So this is the author of Manhunt, which is why I'm familiar. I haven't read anything from this author, Gretchen Felker Martin. This is a novel about a group of teens who must stay true to themselves while in conversion camp from hell. Oh boy. Something evil is buried deep in the desert. It wants your body. It wears your skin. It's the summer of 1995. 7 queer kids abandoned by their parents at a remote conversion camp come face to face with it. They survived, but at Camp Resolution, everybody leaves a different person. 16 years later, only the scared and broken survivors of that terrible summer can put an end to the horror before it's too late. The fate of the world depends on it. Ooh, you know, honestly, this one's a little bit more interesting to me than Manhunt. I think Manhunt, again, like sounds good, but also more scary. It seems a little bit more tame in comparison to Manhunt, but I actually don't know. Maybe I'm gonna eat my words later and the gore is gonna be more than I'm expecting it to be. We'll have to wait and see. Hi, guys. So I have started Kaku. Apparently this has a multicast narration. I think I've only heard one so far, though. I've been nervous about this author. I'm still a little bit nervous. This one is horror, But because I've read You Are Meant to Be Human, I feel like I can probably handle this one, and I'm probably just like psyching myself out for nothing. I don't really know what more this is going to be about. I'm currently part 1 at chapter 2, so like very early on still. We get good news, part 1, and then I'm in the middle of chapter 2. So I'm 12% in though, which feels crazy for, 2 chapters in. But I don't know. This is a little over 5 hours for me at my reading speed. I might have to adjust it down a little bit depending on how my focus is, because we're getting to the end of the month. I'm getting a little bit more of that like end of month burnout where it's like I went so hard at the beginning of the month and now we're at the end and I'm like tired. I don't know how I feel about it so far, like 12%, and I'm kind of just like, what is going on? Where are we? Who are these people? So I don't really have a lot of thoughts, but I wanted to like introduce the fact that I've started it and talked about it at least a little bit. But I don't necessarily love the narrator we have so far, but it feels like we've met multiple characters. I know that this is going to be very centered around trans identity, which I do think is a lens in which I enjoy horror books, similar to Andrew Joseph White. That's an author that I've enjoyed before. So I do have like, I want to say high hopes for this, but I'm also like so scared. Like this freaking cover freaks me out, my dude. I hate it. I don't know why. It's just like broken eggs, but for some reason it gives me the heebie-jeebies. If your cover alone can do that, I'm scared what the inside of your book is going to do to me. But yeah, I don't have really thoughts and opinions right now. So this is a lame check-in, but I'm going to listen to it tomorrow at work at the office. So I might finish it at the office and I might not be able to like have more chats along the way about it. But I'm going to jot down my notes and thoughts and like whatever as I go, so that when we come back together, I can at least piece my thoughts together for you. Hopefully that'll make sense. But yeah, right now it's just kind of like fine. I'm not like super hooked or invested with anything going on. I'm not super hooked by any of the characters so far. So that's kind of, I'm just like waiting for something to grab my attention. But that's where we're at so far. I'm nervous about the horror, but I'm also kind of excited. So stay tuned. Hi, checking in. I am 65% into Cuckoo and I'm almost done. Like I'm 40 something minutes away from being in part 2. So we've spent this entire time with them as teens at this camp and just like the horrors that were happening and seeing this thing that they've deemed the cuckoo, but also just like the absolute tragedy and also horn dogs of these teens and like what they were going through. And it's been very slow. There's so many characters. There is a full cast narration, but I don't know who any of these people are. I couldn't tell you a single fucking name. So I'm not super hooked, but I know that we're about to get to part 2 when they're adults and they're like returning, and I know things are gonna really hit the fan and get even wilder. So I'm kind of excited for this part 2, and I'm wondering if it can like really turn this book around for me. But it's just been like there. It's just been fine so far, and I'm kind of disappointed. But I shall finish it today, and we'll see how it goes. But that's kind of where we're at. Okay. Hi. 4 days later, I finally finished the last 30% of Cuckoo. Anyway, I finally finished it, and I'm really bummed to say that, like, although it is objectively not a bad book, I really struggled with finishing it because I was so checked out by 70% in. I never felt like I connected to any of the characters or really got to know who they were. There were so many, I couldn't tell you a single name. Maybe there was a Felix. I just really struggled with getting into the characters' heads, and like, although I cared for what was going to happen to them, and I think that the plot is interesting and I liked the direction it eventually headed, it just, the pacing was off for me. It was very slow buildup of just like some horrific things happening, and then the end, it's just like gotta fit everything in. Of course my battery's gonna die. Why wouldn't it? The ending just happened too fast, and I just was checked out because I didn't care about the characters. I'm happy they got like their revenge story, if you will, but like I just wish the pacing was different. I wish that we had the points done at different times so that I was able to feel more invested in the characters and what was going on. I just really struggled with connecting to the story and knowing like why I should care beyond like it's just like a sad thing happening to people. But I never felt really invested, and I really struggled with finishing this because I was just like, I don't care. Like, we're gonna have a happy ending, and that's that. And so I was really, really struggling with finishing it. So I don't think it's a bad book. I don't think I had a terrible time. I think it's a 3-star. I just didn't ever feel beyond interested in what was going on. I think that this could work for a lot of people. It just unfortunately wasn't for me. And that could just be because I've been reading so many things, and I'm maybe not in the mood for horror right now. And so I think if Aaliyah and Richie read this, I would love to discuss it with them. And like, I think this book could have good conversations. But I just think for solo reading, just didn't fully do it for me. And I'm bummed about it. But yeah, I just really struggled with finishing it. I really struggled with caring to finish. And yeah, I finally banged out the last 30%. It ended in a good way. I really enjoyed the ending. I was like, yes, but I kind of wish that the ending was maybe 50% of the book rather than the last 30% of the book. I could just wish that the pacing and excitement was a little bit different. But yeah, that's kind of how I feel about Cuckoo. Yeah, it was okay. I'm happy that I read it though. I'm not sure if I'll read Manhunt at this point, but maybe I'll pick up something this author comes out with in the future if it like really entices me or sounds really interesting. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, Cuckoo. I finished it. Okay, guys, I do apologize that I did not stop to talk to you about this for even a split second because I loved it too much. I loved it too much from the beginning. I was getting the vibes. I was like, this is potentially a new favorite book of mine. Like, I am really, really into this, really obsessed. So in this, we are following Shay. Shay is princess of this kingdom, and she is about to have her wedding. It's like the day before her wedding. She's going to get married to her childhood best friend, and they have been destined to like marry, have been promised to each other for like ever. So they've always kind of known that they were going to be together. So she's got later questions of like, do we actually love each other, or are we just fulfilling what is like needed for, you know, the kingdom and whatever. But anyways, I really believed, first thing, I bought into their childhood romance. I was like, she's so happy talking about the wedding, talking about him, how much she loves him. The few and slight small interactions that we get with them are endearing. Like, he clearly cares for her. His name is Bastian. And I was like, oh, I kind of like this. But then, the night before her wedding, Shay overhears some voices in the hallway. And then she peeks out and she's like, huh, there are 0 guards here. That's strange, that's weird, where are my guards? And then she walks down the hall thinking her parents are about to be assassinated. But turns out they were looking for Bastian, who is nowhere to be found at this moment. And instead of them leaving empty-handed, not killing the target, they take Shay captive instead. And so we meet Atlas, Nyx, and Finn, who are 3 brothers from the evil kingdom of... I don't remember the kingdom names, I'm sorry, I don't really care about kingdoms politics as much, but they come from, like, this place where she's like, don't trust those people are always bad, they're evil, like, their place is cold, like, those are bad guys, and there was, like, this war that broke out many, many years ago, and so she just historically has been taught not to trust them, and so she's like, these are the biggest enemies, like, oh no, but she meets these 3 brothers, and she finds out that her handmaiden was actually a spy. So Celine is actually this girl Eris, and she's like, oh my god, what the hell? Right off the bat, though, we get the best banter I could have ever asked for. It just instantly, I was like, oh my god, wait, I love all these people. I love them so dearly. This plot, barely non-existent. No, oh god, I have so much to say about this. Okay, so in this we're following Shay as she's traveling with these brothers and Eris, and they are basically going back to the brothers' homeland. They're taking her captive, they're going to take her to the king, and we along the way like discover new things, there's new truths, whatever. There's a journey emotionally and mentally, but not so much, I guess I'm going to say physically, but like it is just a book of travel, a journey, not necessarily like you're not at a destination until the end. It's you're in it for the journey, you're in it for the culture, you're in it to learn about the world, which I loved. I freaking ate it up. I really loved, like, there's trolls, there's elves, there's sea elves, there's dwarves, there's like so many things, and I love that we go to different places and we get to see a bit of the culture and how it's different, and I just really like that. In this, we're following Shay, who is the classic damsel in distress at every freaking turn. How do you get kidnapped nearly 3 times in less than 400 pages? Like, girl, you are a beacon of trouble, and I kind of love it. Is it a little bit predictable? Sure. Is it really just them bonding and becoming a little found family and trusting each other maybe a little bit too quickly? Sure. I can see every complaint that any person will ever have towards this book, and I'm not saying that you are not incorrect.
I'm just saying, this worked for me so freaking much. We have this character whose world is shattering around her as she's learning who Bastion really is, who her parents might be, more about herself, these secret powers. Like, there's so much going on with her that she's just not ready to experience, but she's also not a stupid character. Like, yes, she's a damsel in distress. She's giving Tangled vibes in some instances. Like, if you enjoy the movie Tangled, you might actually like this book. She's not stupid. She knows how to put puzzle pieces together. Like, she gets clues, she gets hints of things, and she asks the right questions, and she knows something bigger is afoot, and she doesn't, like, immediately just go, oh, it absolutely couldn't be this. Like, she instantly is like, oh, okay, something fishy is going on. Okay, that is weird. Like, yes, you guys are my captors, but also there's been like a level of respect and trust early on, and they're able to have pretty frank conversations to be like, what could this mean? So they agree to go back to the kingdom together. By the end, she's no longer being held captive, and it's a nice adjustment from like some of the really stupid characters that you see in a fantasy book where you're just like, girl, what the fuck? Like, how could you not think things through? Like, I at least appreciate that she's like, oh no, people are after me because I mean something, and I don't really know what that means or how I relate to all of this, and like what about me is important or special, but she understands and recognizes that like something is going on, and she doesn't have all the answers. So she's like, I would love to come with you guys to your homeland, and I would love nothing more than to like be exploring your library and figuring out what the heck is going on, because I don't know who to trust anymore. And I just really enjoyed the emotional journey that our character goes on. I really like Shay as a character. I really love the brothers so freaking much. I really hope to see more of Eris in the next book. It's nice to have like at least one female friendship. And this really worked for me. The banter, it was funny, it was sweet. I was swooning. There's a moment earlier on where, you know, Shay's not stupid. She is trying to escape at first, and so she's like running through the woods trying to get away, and Atlas catches up and he's like, you can either walk back to camp or I'm going to sling you over my shoulder and I will drag and carry you all the way back. And she's like, no, 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 I'll walk, don't you worry. And she's trailing behind, and then she tries to book it again and he catches her. And I'm sorry, this just like had a lot of microtropes that I was really freaking into. Like the microtrope of enemies are chasing us and we have to get away, but oh, what if we like go into an alley and start making out? And maybe we're into it a little bit too much for acting, but by the end we're like, oh no, that was just to get rid of the enemies. We're just evading them. Like it actually didn't mean anything. No, I love it. I love it so freaking much. Okay, anyways, so yeah, major 5 stars. I love and adore this book. I'm so freaking happy that I finally read it. Eliza has been redeemed. She's been telling me to read this for so long. I'm so freaking happy to have read this. I cannot wait. I immediately bought the second book, so I'll be reading that hopefully very soon. Yeah, I'm obsessed. The second book is a ballad of beasts and brothers, and I know what those mean, and I'm really, really excited. This truly, like, God, the book hangover that I'm in. Like, I started the next book, and I just don't care. I am so obsessed with them. I could not stop thinking about them. I just love these characters. I love this world. I love the world so much. Oh my God, the world is so spectacular. I just love seeing such high fantasy and like different cultures and how like it all blends together, and like, it's so good! But I think that's everything that I have to really say about this book. I'm sorry I didn't check in earlier. I was having such a freaking blast. I didn't want to put this down. It was eating it up so much. I have really missed the feeling of like just such a strong obsession with a book, with like such a strong 5-star, like knowing from the beginning, like you get that feeling. And I don't know how to describe it or why it happens when it does. Like the writing is good, but it's not like crazy. I don't think like from an objective point, like this book does anything super special or unique or different, but something about it worked so well for me that I just early on got that feeling in my stomach where you get like little butterflies where you're just like, this is it. This is the book. And I'm just so happy to be having that feeling again. I've had such a bad reading year, like such a dud of a reading year, that these last like 2 months, I would say, I'm really reeling in like all the fucking 5 stars that I can. And I think it just comes down to like, I'm reading things that have been recommended to me, but also reading things that I've been interested in, that I've wanted to read for a while and just for whatever reason haven't. And now I'm finally going back and picking up those books that I'm like, I want to read these. And you know what? I know my taste better than anybody else is going to. I should really just stop chasing the new releases, chasing the hyped things. I do still want to read those, and I'm still going to, absolutely, because sometimes they do absolutely work. I just need to remember that there's some like older books, some backlist books, just books that have been on my radar that I'm neglecting. And if something is really calling to me, I should listen to myself a little bit more. Or apparently Eliza, even though, you know, she's what, 1-to-1, did not really love A City of Gods and Monsters as much, fucking ate this up, maybe one of my favorite fantasy books that I've read in a really long time, so, oh, look how gorgeous she is. Okay, anyways, I think I've said it all. I think I gotta go, so I stop rambling about this one, because I've got more romantic books, oh my god, to read for this video. I cannot wait. I'm having a spectacular day. Spectacular time. This might be my favorite reading vlog that I've done in a hot minute. Even though I might not be able to make a cake. I really wanted to make a pumpkin cake, but we don't have powdered sugar. So we'll have to wait and see about that. But anyways, that's my update. I love this book, and thank you, Eliza. Okay.
Let's pull another pick. You guys don't understand how cringe it is to like pause in between and then like refilm like next one as if it's a new day, as if I'm not filming these all back to back. Ooh, A Sorcery of Thorns. Okay, so I've started A Sorcery of Thorns and I am realizing that I am in a horrible book hangover. I had such a good time with A Song of Shadow and Starlight that every time I'm like, this couple just like is not the same kind of couple. Like, why are they not more romantic? I'm projecting onto this fantasy first romance subplot a little bit too hard, where I'm like, why isn't it the adventurous story that I just read though? Like, why is it not the same thing? And that's not fair. And I think that this is a good book and I like it, but I'm just struggling because like it's suffering from like coming off that 5-star feeling and just unfortunately like not being quite as good, not hooking me as much, not grabbing me the same way. But I will say in this we are following Elizabeth. This is told in third person and we're following Elizabeth, who is working in a magical library, and she is magic and evil plans are going on, and it's of course going to be up to her to save the day. But you've got Nathaniel, and he has this friend Silas who is like a demon companion, and I like them, but I don't feel super connected to them in the same way. I don't feel like I really know them as well as I know Elizabeth, and even then I still feel like I'm at a distance, and I think that's again coming off from a 5-star that was also told in first person, that I just feel now that I'm in a third person like limited storytelling that I'm like so far from these characters, so I'm struggling with like connection. But yeah, basically, you know, magical library, it's exciting but also like kind of meandering. We're just waiting for, like, we're basically trying to figure out information. There's a big bad and we've got to stop him, and so we've got Nathaniel, Silas, and Elizabeth kind of working together, but also it's kind of enemies, reluctant allies going on. And then the narrator, one singular narrator for the whole story, and the voice that they give Silas, I have been struggling on and off with Silas because every time Silas has dialogue, I'm like, is Silas a woman? Because the narrator's just like confusing me. So that's been an issue too, because I'm just like, who is this woman? I'm like, oh no, it's Silas, sorry. So that's been another thing. I will say that overall I am having a fine time. It's a good time. It's a good book. I think it's just like, I unfortunately did this book a disservice reading it at the wrong time, because it's good, but like it can't be as good. So that's where we're at. Okay, good evening. It is a little bit later and I finished A Sorcery of Thorns. And I keep calling it A Sorcery of Thorns when it's just Sorcery of Thorns. Anyway, I forgot until literally a little Google search. I forgot that there was a novella that comes after this. So I definitely think I want to pick that up. I liked this book. I did not love this book. And again, reiterate, I think it was just the timing. Honestly, I really should have read this book so much sooner in my reading career, like 3 years ago. Should have read it sooner, because it just feels less grand and new to me at this point, because I've read so many things similar with like the chosen one who has to save the world and team up with a romantic partner and a good friend. And I really liked Silas at the end of the day. I liked Nathaniel, but I never felt like I understood him as well. And I didn't feel like I had the same connection and ties. But I'm really intrigued to see like what secrets and answers to questions we get in the novella. I don't honestly remember if people like the novella as much as the first book, and if it was like a good continuation. I remember when it was like huge news when the novella came out, and I was like, cool, gotta read it, and then I just didn't. Surprise, surprise. But yeah, overall, I really liked the ending. I enjoyed the epilogue. I thought it was sweet. I really did think that the romance at its heart is sweet and wholesome, and I really enjoyed them together. But I just had a hard time connecting, and I don't think that was necessarily the book's fault. I think it is just a me problem. Next poll. Maybe not a green. A pink.
Okay. Oh, Air Awakens. Technically, this is not technically one of my choices. So this was the original treat book that I got from Princess, I believe. But then later she actually technically switched it out. But I was interested in both books, so I just put both of them in the pot. So now we have Air Awakens. This is a, I believe, young adult romantasy. I've heard really good things about it. Covers with Cassidy has really enjoyed it. So I'm actually very interested in starting this series. Cassidy also compares it to The Wind Weaver, and I hated that book though. So hopefully this will be like a better version of that, you know? But alongside finishing Sorcery of Thorns, I actually started 18 pages in to the first book in the Air Awakens series, and a girl in a library with secret magical powers and one friend because she's a loner and doesn't have family. These are gonna, they already feel so very similar with the setup, so I'm a little nervous about that. And now I fear that my threads are gonna get crossed a little bit, but that's what we're working on next. I'm gonna start reading The Air Awakens and hopefully finish it tonight because it's not super duper long. So yeah, I have the bind up where it's like all 5 books in one ebook and one audiobook. But I'm just going to focus on the first book, obviously, right now. But I am excited for it. It's also told in third person. So hopefully I will have a better time connecting. Maybe because I'm physically reading along, it'll work out better. We'll have to wait and see. But that's where we're at. That's what's going on with me. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you later. Okay, I'm getting ready for the day, and there's high possibility that this camera battery dies while I'm talking, but guys, I'm having a great day. So I stayed up until midnight finishing my little book, and you know, the first 100 pages I took notes. Let me pull up my notes. I will be responsible. Look at those notes. Hell yeah. Did I explain to you what The Air Awakens was about? I don't remember. I don't think so. I think it was pretty brief that I just had started. So The Air Awakens is following Vala, who works in the library as an apprentice, and she has 2 friends, Roan and Sareem. Sareem, secretly in love with her. So we've got a very light love triangle, but I actually really enjoyed the way that it was handled in this book just because our character, she knows what she wants. She might be going through the throes of change and trying to figure out where her life is going to go after finding that she has an affinity to air magic that hasn't been seen in like 150 years. So she's kind of like, you know, going through it. She's like, I thought, you know, magic was bad. So she's having to make decisions of whether or not she wants to join the... Sorry, I'm doing too many things at once. She has to decide if she wants to join the like wizard tower people and become an apprentice of magic, or if she wants to get eradicated, which means that like she loses her powers and ability. And she does a very solid job advocating for herself. She's like, you know what, this is a lot to spring on me overnight, basically. Like, I had a very traumatic awakening to my magic. Uncool. We got over that kind of quickly. But she has this like traumatic experience, and she goes, hey, actually, you're gonna give me a month to make this decision because I love my job at the library, but you're opening this new world and new possibilities and ideas, and I'm just not sure. But she has a teacher who happens to be Prince Aldrich, and Prince Aldrich has fire affinity. We love Aldrich. Okay. So basically, that's kind of like the setup. This book is similar to A Song of Shadow and Starlight in the sense that like not a whole lot is really happening. We spend, especially like the first 100 pages, it's really just getting to know our character, the world, kind of just figuring everything out. And I liked it at that point, but I wasn't like obsessed with it. But 100 pages in, I felt that shift in me where I was like, okay, I'm invested, I'm interested. There was always something happening with characters or the world that I was just fascinated with it. But we're, you know, flirting with a prince, run away from our task. There is a lot of like off-screen development in our couple just because we are kind of speeding through the month because we follow 1 month in this book. So we're not seeing every training session between them, but I think we're really seeing the ones that really stand out and are really like, special and like good for the moment. And I just really adored the scenes with them. I love them so much. There is an issue of info dump in this world. It's often through dialogue or recalling the books that she's read or studying. Oh my god. And the way that we first meet Prince Aldrich is that Vala is like, look guys, I'm not really ready for this whole magic thing. But she's like kind of being spied on by other black robes, which are the mages, or I guess sorcerers in this case. She meets this one lady, Laurel, And I was like, okay, cool. And she starts getting these letters from the Phantom. And he's like explaining magic to her and like leading her in the right direction, being like, look, you're so smart, you love the library, you love to read, but you're scared of like practical experience, like real life experience. You'd rather just read a book how it's done, but doesn't equate to the same experience and like knowing how to actually do something, which, call me out, why don't ya? But I really liked that they're like starting their relationship with like sending these letters, and he's like, you should read up on the air people of the East. And like I just really liked the way that we meet them and like the way that they start bonding slowly. And she's like, I kind of have a crush for this guy, but I've never even seen him before. I don't know his name. I don't know what he looks like, but he calls himself the Phantom. It's like kind of cute. So I really enjoyed that. So plot wise, I was just really invested. And by the time we get to the end, oh my God, guys. This book goes crazy by the end. I truly, like, for a few chapters, I was, like, on the verge of tears. I was so concerned and, like, saddened by what was happening to our main character. Like, the pain that she starts to go through because of some horrific people. I was like, oh my God, this is shattering my heart right now. I did not want to stop reading. I couldn't stop reading. I was so addicted. I was so obsessed. I was having a ball, guys. I was having a great time. This, like, truly cured my book hangover. I was so obsessed by the end. I was reading it so fast. It was just like, I can't put this down. I'm so invested. I so desperately want to start book 2, which is a great feeling. Out of the things that I've read, we have A Shadow Song in Starlight, which I gave a strong 5 stars from the beginning. I knew this was going to be, like, an incredible book, and it really worked for me in all ways, even though I don't think this will work for everybody or a lot of people. And then we read A Sorcery of Thorns, which has a lot of similarities in setup, but very quickly diverges, and they were no longer at all the same. And I think this was good. I do see myself rereading it and giving it a better chance in the future when I'm not, like, in a book hangover, when I'm not, like, so interested in specifically romantasy. Like, I think if I just want a fantasy with a dash of romance, this will be a really good comfort reread, just as I, like, get to see the world a bit more and, like, kind of take more in. It's a nice book, though. It's, like, good. It's objectively, like, good, and I do recommend it. But then we have Air Awaken, which is, like, a nice blend of these two things, where it wasn't an immediate 5-star feeling, but by the halfway, a little over halfway, like 130 some pages, and I was like, oh, this might be. And I was getting that, like, bubbly feeling of just, like, having a really good time and really enjoying it. So I think I'm curing myself with the fact that I'm in a romantasy mood, and I've been neglecting it for a little bit, and I think just I'm eating it up now, and I've got, like, the best romantasy picks that I could have asked for. I'm excited to read this again. I'm so glad that this was a 5-star, and I'm so glad Air Awakens, I think it's going to be 5 stars. Like, I'm also equally baffled and surprised by it, but man, I'm just having such a good time, such a good day. Guys, I'm freaking out. I'm so happy with the way Air Awakens went, and I'm so excited to continue it in November. I honestly think I'm going to just binge the entire series at this point. Like, I don't think there's a reason for me to not. Come November, I'm going to have a great reading month. I think it might be one of my best. So, anywho, that's my check-in. I loved it. Air Awakens was fantastic. Really good. I'm having a great life. This is a good month. Thank you to my friends. You guys are supplying dopamine. I love it. Ooh, Vanessa, Fear of the Flames. Oh, how exciting. Okay, this is romantasy. It's dragons. The sequel recently came out. Chloe, who I've been sprinting with on Wednesdays and, like, kind of got to buddy booktober with me, also recently read the duology, and she really loved the first book, and I'm happy to finally be reading this. So I have the indie edition, and then I purchased, I think, the German edition or something kind of crazy, because it was so pretty. So I have 2 editions, the traditionally published and the indie published, and I think I have the audiobook. So, like, we are geared, ready to go for this pick. Thank you, Vanessa. Yes! Hi everybody, it is time that I read Vanessa's pick, our final book for Trick or Treat. Oh my goodness. I'm hopeful this will be above a minimum 4 stars. Okay, that's the goal, that's the dream, that's the hope. Aiming for another 5-star just because, this video is going so well for me. But I'm starting Fear the Flames, finally, but this is by Olivia Rebs Darling. And I know that Jane Agerton really likes this. Reading with Chloe really like this. So I too am hopeful to really like this. I really don't know a whole lot. I know it's a heist book, and I know there's dragons, and I don't normally love a heist book, so I'm a little bit nervous and hesitant about that. But I am still excited for this one. I've heard so much buzz. I actually have the indie copy before changes on my shelf. Eliza has the post changes indie edition. And then I bought this. This is the UK because I preferred this cover than like the original US traditionally published cover. But yeah, Olivia Rose Darling got traditionally published with this book. So I figured I would read along with my traditionally published because it's going to more likely match the audiobook, is my assumption. But we'll have to wait and see. No, that was my spot. That's where I was going to lay. What the heck? I was going to plant my butt right there to read this book, but that's fine. We'll figure it out. Anyway, I just wanted to kind of like let you know that I'm starting this, and I will update you guys as I go. I don't have any plans today besides this book and editing this video you're watching now. So that's kind of my to-dos today. This is going to take me 4 hours and 20 minutes. So wish me luck. I hope that it goes well. This unfortunately is not on Kindle Unlimited anymore, so I now just have to read the physical book, which is fine. I just, I'm really enjoying just flying through reading on my Kindle right now, but this'll do. I have her. There's no reason to not. So that's my beginning updates. I will check in with you guys probably maybe halfway and then when I finish it. Just so that we're not here for too terribly long, but also because I don't know anything more about this. So see you in like 2 hours.
Just like the walls of the hall. You ready? He asks. I raise my chin while staring down.
Okay, hi. I have my little microphone because I don't want you to hear the outside. The outside is open. This is going good, but I decided because I just got to part 2 that I would stop and inform you what's going on, what the drill, what's happening. So part 1 is basically the big setup. We are following the lost Princess Elwyn and her bestie Finian as their kind of petty crimes, spying, thieving, doing the works. She loves her daggers. She's got a bajillion weapons on her at all time. We've already gotten the knife to the throat with the commander, Caden Velez, commander of Vereth and defender of the bane of his existence, aka Elwyn. They're flirty. They have kind of teamed up together. They're allies. It's not a reluctant allies, just an allies, but they are going to do a heist together to get Elwyn's dragons from her father. Her father wants her dead. Something about a bond. The dragons burned her mom. I don't really understand the motives of her dad and like why those things are happening, but I do understand that she doesn't have her dragons and she really wants her dragons. So she's going to do what she can to get her dragons. And you know what? I'm here for that. That's fine with me. There's been one action scene where they had to fight this like monster and that was interesting. She's like, I've never seen this monster before. I've never had to fight it. I, haven't seen it before, but she knows exactly how to handle the poison. It's like, okay, babes. Sure. Very intelligent, very street smart. She's got the whole package. She is feisty. She loves sarcasm, which bonus. I do like a good sarcasm. It's going fine. I'm not like uber obsessed yet. I'm not getting that like 5-star tingle, but I am enjoying it for what it is. I'm excited to see where it goes. I will say that though, I am more interested in Caden and Elwyn when they flirt, their banter, the way that they have like this sarcastic, like they kind of don't like each other. They're kind of like aggressive and feisty towards one another for very few reasons, but I do like their banter and I do like the way that they kind of joke with each other about things. And I not okay. I do like their banter, my goodness. I don't really have a whole lot to say about it at this current moment, at the very least, but I'm liking it. I like our couple, which is exciting, even though they're for sure not a couple yet. But I'm excited to see, more come of them. But I am having a fine time. It's not fantastic, but it's not bad by any means either. I think the writing is good. I like the narrator that we have. Yeah, no real complaints. So I just want to check in. Part 1, that is what's happening in the book. That's what we are doing. So, alrighty. I'll check in with you guys probably, again, like I said, halfway. And then we'll see from there how it goes. But yeah, I haven't really had any crazy thoughts about it yet. So let's keep reading. Hi. I've had dinner. and I made it to part 3. I figured that based on my check-in so far, this just kind of made the most sense. So we've got an hour and a half left. Oh my god. Are we the bad guys? Like, these are some morally gray characters. Like, yes, what they're doing is, I don't even know if just is really the right word, but they aren't afraid to go there, you know? But also we had like this cute little moment in a brothel, steamy, without being steamy, like all the way. Okay, like, oh my god, all right. I was wanting, you know, a steamier book, and here we are. I can't complain. I was blushing. Well written, not like overly, not cringe, so that was wonderful. I like this. I like it a lot. Part 3 is the heist, so we're about to, I'm assuming, go get the dragons, which makes sense seeing as the second book in the series is The Wrath of the Dragons. So I think it's gonna be a little crazy because this is a series. I don't think we're gonna get the big bad, but we will get the dragons, and then we're gonna, you know, get revenge in the next book. I don't know if this is a duology or a trilogy or quartet. I don't know, but I'm excited. I'm having a good time. I really like our characters. I wouldn't say that the world building is the most explained or like the best ever, because there's really not a lot to it, but we have some morally great characters who are not afraid to kill, and then we have, you know, passing time, waiting to sign like an alliance of sort so that her kingdom will have food. And so there's like a, you know, valiant reason as to why we're holding off and why we're dawdling and waiting, but there was like a nice little ball. I missed the drunk scene, which is rude. I love a drunk scene. I love when the girl is drunk and just like in carefree. I love that she's like, it's strawberry wine, so they're tearing their shoes off and running through the gardens. I love those moments. Those are some of my favorite, like, sweet, tender, little, like, vulnerable moments. They're great. But yeah, I'm having a good time. It's not, again, I don't think it's going to be a 5-star, but I do think it'll probably be a solid 4. I'm not, again, a big heist person, so this last hour and a half might be really boring for me, but I don't think so. I'm actually really intrigued by the dragons and the bond that she has with them. There's 5 that she has a bond with. So yeah, I am liking it. There's not like a lot going on in it, but based off the books that I've previously given 5 stars, those also had nothing going on. So I think that's just, you know, my thing right now. But we're almost done. I'm going to keep reading and then we'll say goodbye and we'll wrap this one up. But I'm having a good time. I'm really liking this. I can understand why so many people like it. So yeah. Okay. See you in an hour and a half. Good evening. Hi. I finished Fear the Flames and I apologize for the sound of this review. I know that there's like outside sound forces that are against me right now, but I would like to get this done because I would like to go to bed. But I finished Fear the Flames, and this is definitely like emphasis on the romance of the sea to sea. You know, it sounded a lot better in my head when I was like, romance to sea. That's how you would say it. It's definitely romance first. Like, there is plot, which I like, but I would say that it's probably like 35-40% plot, where like, yes, there is plot and they are doing stuff, but a lot of it is also just that we get these moments with the couple, between the couple, in different situations, and I think that's fine. If I meet this book like where it is, that works for me. There was a few world building things that I was like, but why? What? One of the big things is like, there's like a prophecy about Eowyn, and we never hear the prophecy. We don't know what it was. We just know that she was, you know, destined to be bad enough that her father was like, lock her up. So I don't know. Okay, I love the dragons though. I like the ending. I really enjoyed, like, the heist of it really was such a smaller portion of the story than I was expecting, which I preferred, as I don't love a heist so much, but I did enjoy this for what it was. I did like the characters a lot. I really enjoyed that they matched each other's freak. Like, I'm gonna be so real, so honest with you. These are bad people. They are bad characters. They are kind of villains, but they match each other. Like, they have the same energy. They have the same, like, banter. Like, they are matched on a, like, sarcastic villain level. Like, these characters at the end of the day are villainous. Like, yeah, there are some morally just reasons, but even then it's like, you don't have to do these things. You just kind of want to, which I think makes you like an objectively like not a good person. And I can't even say like, oh, they're just morally gray, because
it's kind of extreme. Like, they kill a guard for his clothes, like, just because, and he's so overly protective. But at the same time, like, it's kind of sweet. Like, that same guard that they kill, he, like, flirts with Elowen, and then he gets his neck cracked and dies, and so they can take the outfit. But instead of, like, taking the outfit, they're in an alley, standing over a dead body, giving each other oral. Like, they're just not quite normal people. Definitely more the villains, and I like that their friends kind of check them a little bit, but even then, like, I do think everybody acts like this is really normal, and I don't really get why, because they really kill a lot of people, and I don't mind the violence. It's kind of fun, but it is just like, you don't have to, like, be this extreme, but, like, it's fine. You do you. But they are kind of the villains. So if you want to read, like, a villain's romance, I will say that it's not really a slow burn. They start confessing that they kind of have something going on between them, like, halfway through. But I like that there is, like, an emphasis on tender moments where he is a simp. He is so devoted. He has no problem reassuring her constantly about the devotion that he has, and also, like, the aftercare where, yes, he wants to please her and she him, and they have this beautiful romantic and sexual chemistry. Fantastic. But I really appreciated the emphasis on the aftercare of, like, they have some, like, rough alley oral, and then afterwards, like, he rubs her knees and, like brushes her hair, and, like, just does gentle sweet things to, like, be reassuring of, like, hey, might be a little bit more dominating in the bedroom, but just know that, like, we're on the same team, like, we're equals, like, we are good. I enjoy that. I like seeing the aftercare. I like seeing the tender moments. I like seeing that they just really work as characters. My cat's going crazy. So I really appreciate that, like, yes, because this is so romance forward and we're spending a lot of time with our characters together, and, like, the banter and them getting to know each other and so on, I really appreciated that the characters work so well together, that they seem so similar in so many ways, and they can really lean on each other for those vulnerable moments to be like, hey, I totally understand, like, what it is you're going through, and I'm going to help you through it. I really like that. I think that this did a really good job at all of that. So yes, I'm gonna land, I think, on a 4-star with this one. I enjoyed it. It was a good time. Definitely shocking in some moments, but, like, I was having a blushing time, if you will, and I really did enjoy this one. So yes, this concludes our finale. So, oh my gosh, thank you guys so much. Thank you to all of my booktuber friends that were willing to give me recommendations, willing to send in videos, willing to take the time to, like, look at my Goodreads and give me things that they actually think I would enjoy. This vlog was truly such a win. My reading overall this month was a pretty solid win. Like, every book that was recommended to me, except for very few, weren't solid reads. Like, they were good. I think my friends have great taste. I think that they understand my reading well enough. I really appreciated this experience. I just kind of want to throw this here at the end as well, just to say, like, a huge thank you to anybody who watched, who is enjoying the series. I really loved being able to do this. I loved being able to ask a bunch of my friends to help create a TBR for me and kind of control my reading for a month. It was unpredictable, unexpected, some picks better than others for sure, but I just really appreciate the booktube community helping me out, supporting me during this, but also, like, being cool with me reading books recommended by them, and, like, nobody getting upset or feeling any specific type of way. I am just really appreciative of everybody who gave me any time of day, and if your pick was not ever picked at some point, I'm so sorry. I truly tried my best, and if I could read everybody's, I will. I will be holding on to this. I have a spreadsheet with all of the books that were recommended to me. I definitely want to get to a good amount of them. There were some fantastic picks for me, so I'm definitely going to still be trying to read them, and I will let you guys know if or when that happens in, like, reading vlogs or wrap-ups or whatever. But yes, I just thank you guys all so much for hanging out with me and watching the series. Thank you for watching Booktober. I love doing this every year. I know that it's maybe not, like, the best thing to do for a channel just because you're posting so much, and I get it. I also get sick of me, but we will be going back down to 2 to 3 videos per week, and I'll be working on new project, end of year content, all that really fun stuff. So I just appreciate you all for being here, and I just thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. But that concludes the booktuber trick or treat. Bye.